The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is our hour to talk taxes. And I think that you'll find that there's something that is going to pertain to everybody when you listen to Ask the Tax Lady. And again, if you have any questions, we'd love to entertain what you have to say. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We got a lot of news to give you. And of course, I'm joined in studio with my buddies, and that's Chris Fabian. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Esther.
Hello, Christopher and Tiffany Fabian.
Hey, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you. And, I was watching sports. I
love that's
why.
a great thing about ball.
I love to listen to people talk about the Bills. I just am afraid to watch the Bills. But I was watching today, and, everybody says, like, the number one game of the year is going to be played
tomorrow
with Kansas City
At 4 o'clock?
4:30.
with Mahomes and Allen. I mean, So anyway, we're rooting for the Bills. Okay, the other thing is, for those of you that wanted to go to our Ready, Set, Retire seminar, we feel like an airline because we're overbooked. Right?
Yeah, we are. But we're going to,
But we're very thankful. And if you are somebody that made a reservation and you were thinking of coming, but you're not sure you want to come, would you call Amy on Monday so we can put some of the people we have on injured reserve into our seminar, because we can only get 100 people in the room.
Yep.
Right?
It's, and it's a great seminar, and,
It really is, and a great opportunity to talk to experts and to really, there you are talking about your wills, and there's somebody there to fix your will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like immediate gratification. Sometimes I think about something and I think, I got to find somebody, they're going to make the phone call, but here it is, a great opportunity. Right?
And what we might end up doing too is, for the people who can't make it, we'll put together a nice little pamphlet, and we could always mail you out the people who were there, the presenters.
Well, and the thing is, maybe we can do it again in another month too,
Yep.
right? If we have enough people.
Yes,
right.
yes.
The other thing is, our tax school started already. We do have a second school that's going to be starting in November, right?
Correct. November 12th on Saturdays. It's going to be about a 6-week course. It's the same information as the classes before. It's just
a little faster. We talk a little faster, and you have to do your homework
yes,
a little faster.
we go on what is 33 instead of 78.5, the old
That's right.
record
Hi,
player.
this is E.G. Tax, and we can help you with.
Gracie does that when she's studying.
Oh, listens to the
She'll
people.
put it on fast mode and
Well, that's true. It's you just want to hear the words,
right.
So that's coming up, and then Monday is a big day.
Monday it's the end of extension deadline, and so
And the moolah's got to be in.
yeah, that's unless you were in a casualty disaster zone like Ian, and
Right. So for those of you that are listening from Florida that were in Ian's path, you were in a federally declared disaster area, your extension goes to now February the 16th, which is really a blessing, because these people in Florida are dealing with houses that are completely gone. They have nothing left.
does that extend the time for them to pay as well?
As far as I know, yes,
Yeah.
because they're it's a compassionate extension.
Yeah, which is great. Otherwise, everybody else
it's
has
Monday.
to have it in Monday. There's still some openings at the office, so call 632-7886 or come on in, and we'll get it done.
And then speaking of, since the deadline is Monday, a lot of people, not millions of people, haven't filed their 2021 tax return. And starting next week, the IRS is going to be writing letters to people stating, you're entitled to the recovery rebate, you're entitled to the a refund from the child tax credit, you're entitled to the earned income credit, to all those people that haven't filed. So if you're getting those letters, they're trying to say to you, please file your return. You have money coming back.
Right.
So I don't care how much of a procrastinator you are, you have money coming back, a lot of money coming back in many situations. So if you're getting that letter from the IRS and you're thinking, what the heck does this mean? It means that they really are looking to give you your money back.
Yeah, there's so many people that could have filed in 2021 and they could have used their income from 2019 to capture the earned income credit.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
And you talked about deadline being Monday. That's for people who owe money. If you know you have a $2,000 refund, if you don't file by Monday, you don't lose it. You still can come in anytime next week, all the way. You have 3 years to file it, but I wouldn't procrastinate. If you have money coming, get it.
Well, and the penalty is after 3 years, you lose that money.
Yep.
Right? And
Right.
and we've seen people lose tens of thousands of dollars because they just procrastinated.
Correct.
But the bottom line is EG Tax does tax returns every single day that we're open, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday during the off season, 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturdays during the tax season. So if you have a tax return, don't be embarrassed that you haven't filed. We'll get it done for you.
That's right.
Oh, my
That's
gosh,
right.
yeah.
For sure. We will
All
help
right.
you.
Yes.
I always tell my clients, you're not the first. You won't be the last.
That's for sure.
And, don't think
All
of
right.
yourself on a deserted island because
All right,
there's-
so we got the second school road to retirement. Want to talk about some of the things that people do to make a bad economy even worse. And it's what they do in kind of panicking. So when you take a look at your investments and you see that you have dividends on one side, but you have losses from stocks on the other, you can sell those stocks at a loss to cover the dividends. So that's something that you need to see your financial planner about, and do that. Don't just sit there alone in your house making financial decisions, especially if you have stocks and bonds and a financial planner. Use them to game plan, and use us.
Yeah, I know every year Larry calls Chris and they sit together with his broker and they do a conference call and they strategize right before the year
and
end
especially
closes.
you take a look right now, it's like a roller coaster. I mean, one day it's up 800, next day it's down 100, next day it's down 700. So you want to make sure that you know your financial position so that you can utilize those stock losses to offset the gainers so you don't pay taxes. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-803-0930. The other thing I wanted to say is don't quit investing, especially through your employer on a 401k. And I know it looks really sad when you put money in and then the value of the account goes down. But remember, you still have those shares, number one. Number two, if you put $10,000 in a pension plan and your employer contributes 3% of your salary, you can, with your, you'd be putting in $2,400, and with the pension contribution of $12,400, you save over $2,000 in taxes. So you may not be getting it in your investment, but as long as you got the money in there, it gives you an opportunity when the market comes back up to gain. Plus, you save money in your taxes, and you have the employer match, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Which is tax deferred.
It's a win-win. And when you're putting money into your 401k or your 403b, you can decide what you want to put it in. If you want it in risky things or bonds that are more secure. And so you can talk to your broker at your pension plan that you're invested in at work.
Right. So if you're in the 20% bracket, federal and state, which would be really low, and you put 10,000 in an IRA, you're still making 20% no matter what, because that's what you're saving in taxes. Right?
Yes.
Plus the employer match. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-803-0930, whether you're getting love letters or whatever, or you're worried about Monday. Give us a jingle, give us a text. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back on the other side.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
Hey, to us, you are family. And I will tell you, a lot of you know that I have a house in Florida that was right in the middle of the hurricane and everything. And I just had a horrible time getting anybody to talk to me. No, there is no customer service. I've completely decided that the only company with customer service is EG Tax. Because, we will help you.
Yeah. I called somebody today and I had to leave a voice message.
Oh, and they'll never call you back. Never.
No.
No, I mean, and there was this Infinity place that they would say, oh, we're going to text you. They just never text you. Never. So anyway.
It sounds good.
Yeah, right. It does sound good. But I would never treat my clients like that. Never, never, never. It was like being at the hospital the other day, 8 hours in a wheelchair when I broke my hip. Nobody cared.
And you're
Hello,
in agonizing
hello,
pain.
lady, I'm dying. How can I get somebody to treat me, please?
I know.
Oh, well. Anyway, moving right along. Things that you should know and don't, so you don't shoot yourself in the foot. Make sure you don't withdraw money from your pension. Especially if you're under the age of 59 and a half, without really thinking about the consequences. First of all, it becomes taxable, right? Yep. And if you're under 59 and a half, there's a penalty.
That's right. For early withdrawal, unless an exception applies.
Right. Now, there are exceptions to the penalty, like if you're very sick or you needed the money to pay for medical bills after you exceed the 7.5%. If you retired and did a systematic withdrawal after your age 55. I mean, those kind of things. But generally speaking, if you take money out of your pension plan, number one, it's going to be taxable, plus a 10% penalty, federal and state. So that's not a good thing to do. One good thing you can do is call us. We will talk to you, and we will look at your situation, and we'll say, if you take $100,000 out, you're going to pay $40,000. You're going to pay $40,000 in taxes, for instance. And then people are crying, I don't want to pay that. Well, then let's look at some alternatives.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what we want to do. We want to give you tax-free alternatives, not taxable.
Right. I know I had a client this week, and she took out money from an annuity because she needed to put on a roof and fix her foundation. And her broker said, oh, you just need 10% withholding. You'll be fine. And she ended up owing, between the federal and state, $8,000 because 10% wasn't enough. And
and people that don't have that extra kind of money. She obviously didn't have money. She took it out of her pension plan. So
right.
That's just a terrible thing. That's what we're there for. We don't charge to talk to you.
Was she under the age of 59?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we have a couple, and again, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. We got some text.
Yep, it says, EG Gang, I got a letter from New York State unemployment. Do I owe this? Should I just pay it? And
Well,
so
that all depends. We got to look at it, right?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of these letters lately. And so New York State is notorious. They don't mail you a 1099-G. You have to go onto your New York State hub for unemployment and download your 1099-G, or else call the phone number and they'll mail it to you. And
So explain what a 1099-G is, Tiff.
that's the
Reporting.
basically the W-2
unemployment.
form for unemployment.
Right.
It's
So
the income
bear
reporting.
this in mind. Just because you didn't get the form doesn't mean it's not taxable. And big New York State is there to charge you penalty and interest on that liability that you didn't claim.
Right. And the thing is, too, though, we've also seen it where people weren't on unemployment. and they're getting
their identity was stolen.
their identity was stolen for unemployment. So you got to fill out a fraud form, and
And then right, and then but also go. You finish your thought. I want to say something else.
I was going to say, you talk about customer service. You call the Department of Labor, or you call the Department of Taxation. They go, you got to call the Department of Labor. Well, you finally get a fraud number to call, and they go, we only answer phone calls from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Please.
It's terrible.
And then it goes,
customer
click.
service sucks.
They don't
That's
even
the way
put
it
you
goes.
on hold to talk to somebody. They just hang up on you.
Yeah, I know. That's how it was when I was trying to get hold of somebody here. They just go, don't touch down wires. Make sure that you stay safe. Now, it's been sunny down here, right down wires. And have a good day. And they hang up on you. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
so what I wanted to say is if you did indeed receive unemployment and you owe that to New York State, don't forget to amend your federal, because there's freedom of information and New York State will communicate it to the federal, but it'll just add more interest
Okay,
and
so let's
penalty.
put it all into context. If you received unemployment, but you didn't get the form from New York State, that didn't make it not taxable. It meant that you didn't ask them for the form. If you don't ask them for the form, they're not going to give it to you, but it still makes it taxable.
Yeah, so you have
And
to
at
fix
that point in time, you had to make sure that it was on the federal and the New York State return. If you did get unemployment, then probably the letter that you're getting is correct, but let us look at it. Number two, if you weren't on unemployment and somebody stole your identity and they received unemployment in your name, it's going to be attributable to you because that's who they say received it. But we can get you out of that pickle by filing that fraud form, and we will help you in both situations.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let's go to Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, everybody. I'm just a little confused in some terminology, and if you could just please clear it up for me.
Sure.
About distributions from pensions, as you alluded to, Esther. You're alluding, well, you had mentioned something about taking distributions from your pension prior to 59 and a half. And I'm a little confused because I don't know how you take a distribution from a pension versus a 401k. A 401k.
But a pension, and that's what I'm broadly talking about, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, any qualified pension plan that you took a deduction for is what I'm referring to.
Oh, okay. Now, all right. Because when you were saying specifically a pension, a defined pension, you either get it or you don't, and you
Oh, no, that's not true. When you have a pension plan that you put money into, 403b, 401k, IRA, that's still your money. The employer may be the conduit that's collecting that money for you and matching your funds, but you still have the right to go and say, I want my money. That's where it comes down to as a problem. You can borrow the money. If you borrow the money against your pension plan and pay them back within 5 years, then that's not a taxable event. But if you actually take that distribution under age 59 and a half, you pay taxes and a penalty on the federal and the state of New York.
Yeah, I'm not speaking about a pension plan, so to speak, 401k or 403b. I'm talking specifically about a pension. For instance, I get a pension.
Good for you. You're one of the few Americans with a pension.
yeah,
You must work for the state of New York.
No, I was in large commercial construction.
Oh, well, good for you. So
no, but
they actually have like a pension plan for the employees that you did not contribute to.
I got you. So what's the pension that I'm getting? How would you refer to that then for differentiating between a 401k and a pension that I get monthly through my...
You already retired then?
I am, yes.
And
yes.
are you over the age of 55?
I am.
All right, so you're specifically one of the people I said that this wouldn't pertain to.
So
So you're good to go. So your pension is taxable, but it isn't subject to a pension, and the first $20,000 on New York State is tax free.
Right. So when you're defining between the two, and you're going to specifically talk about a pension like I'm getting, how do you differentiate?
Okay, a pension is like you worked for the post office or the government or Ford a long time ago, and they give you a guaranteed retirement check. What Esther is referring to is a 401k, a 403b, an IRA, money that you contributed to yourself out of your paycheck.
Right.
Understood.
Okay.
Thanks
You
very
are a
much.
blessed man. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
All right. Then we got a text. What do we got here?
There's two texts, but I'll read this one first. Esther, all-time listener, would like to hear some information about reverse mortgages. Heard you mentioned it twice, but no details.
Oh, okay. Well, a reverse mortgage is for seniors who have an asset, a home that they live in, and they want to continue to live in it, even if the home has a mortgage. Okay, as long as there's enough equity in the home, that means cash value, then you basically can go to any qualified bank. There's many banks in New York, in
M&T,
Buffalo, M&T, yeah,
And
probably-
they have an A plus. I have it up on my phone. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
An A plus rating for reverse mortgages.
So then basically, let's say your house is worth 200,000, you have an existing mortgage of 40. So you have a lot of equity, $260,000 in equity. They basically will pay off your first mortgage, and then with your 260,000, they might say, we will give you 200,000 of it each month. We'll dole it out each month over a 30-year period. You can take it out once a year. You can take out the money, the whole lump sum if you want. And basically, it causes negative equity in the house so that in the event upon your death, let's say that mortgage grew to $100,000, then your family then would get the difference between the $100,000 negative equity and your positive equity that might be 300,000. Then your family would get the 200,000, but you get the paid off mortgage and the extra money to live on tax free.
Yep.
Okay, and we're going to take a break for news. We'll see you on the other side.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
Hey family, this is Esther Gulius, the tax lady. Don't forget Monday is extension deadline. The money's got to be paid on Monday unless you were in the hurricane disaster area, and they extend the deadline to February the 16th. For those of you that are in Florida and you need help with casualty losses or signing up for FEMA or anything, you can also give EG Tax a call. We certainly will help you because it's devastating. Wanted to talk today about things that people do when the economy changes and they're not feeling so good about their investments, things that they might do so they don't positively shoot themselves in the foot. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our text is 716-8030930. We got another text, right, Chris?
We do. Before I read this text, there's another person who texted in. Give us a jingle, give us a text, then sit back and hear advice we'll give next. Very, very cute. And this says, EG Gang, I owe a lot of money to the IRS. I'm thinking of taking it out of my 401k. Since you're talking about 401ks, I thought I'd ask you what you think.
Well, it's going to be taxable, number one, federal and state. If you're under the age of 59 and a half, there could be a penalty. Now, there is an exception to penalty if you have a federal lien, but it sounds like this is a contemporaneous 2021 liability.
Right.
So if there was a lien, then you could take it out and not pay the penalty. But if there's another way around, I would suggest that you do it, whether you have equity in your home, whether you want to take a loan out against your 401k, pay yourself back with the interest, that would be good, rather than paying all those taxes. Now think about this. Let's say you owe $20,000 and you're in the with the state of New York, 30% tax bracket with a 10% penalty for it. So you're 40% on 20,000. You're going to pay $8,000 in taxes, which is miserable. But if you borrow the money on your 401k, you pay yourself back and you pay zero taxes. So you paid your liability and you keep your money in your pension plan. It's like a win-win situation. And that's what we do. You know, there's so many loopholes. Well, I hate to use the word loopholes because it's not really a loophole.
Gray
But
areas.
Yeah, and there's so many alternative ways to accomplish the same thing that doesn't cost you money.
Yeah, and then if they are, I got to chime in, if they're in an uncollectible status, maybe they would qualify for an offer and compromise. And
Absolutely.
So that's
And uncollectible means they don't think you can pay the liability.
Right.
But they don't know that till you file the forms.
right. And so it's doubt to collectability. So if you're somebody who makes $80,000 a year, they're going to say, "Oh gosh, you know, you're not doubt that we'll collect someday. We think you will collect someday." But
I wanted to go back on that reverse mortgage. You know, a reverse mortgage is an answer to prayer for a lot of people.
Yep.
But it is not something that you should look at as an investment strategy, because it's not an investment strategy at all.
No.
Because you are giving up your equity to stay in your home. Sometimes it's better to do something else, but a reverse mortgage for many people is an answer to prayer, really.
Right. I mean, if it's like if mom's living by herself and she doesn't have enough income to support herself, but she doesn't want to leave the house.
And she's got a mortgage payment,
And
right?
she's got a mortgage payment. And, you know, the children don't really care about the house. They want to see it sold so mom can
Right,
move
and they
somewhere
want
else.
mom happy.
Well, maybe a reverse mortgage is the way to go to give her
Absolutely.
a couple $100
So
extra
her house
a month
gets
or
paid off, she
something.
gets extra money to live on.
Yep.
And, you know, it's a win-win. But there are fees set up that you have to pay with a reverse mortgage. So again, that's another thing we'll help you with. So if you want to call us, we'd be thrilled to help
I
you.
think reverse mortgages were something that developed under the Reagan administration to help seniors
Right.
who might not
Stay in
be
their
able.
home.
Yeah, and there's a text that says, if you're worried about the economy, vote in November.
Amen.
Yep.
That's for sure. The other thing I wanted to tell people is, looking at your finances, consider. I was just having dinner last night with a couple, my friends, and he said, "Yeah, I'm waiting to collect Social Security," and I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, because I get more." And I said, "You're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table," and he said, "Yeah, I know. I won't break out even till like I'm 85." And I said. He said, "But maybe I won't even make it that long." And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I think I'll collect on Monday." After talking to you, Esther, maybe I'll collect on
I
Monday.
should have collected a
I
few
mean,
years
my
ago.
gosh.
Yeah, you should have collected a few years
Yeah,
ago.
I mean, that's the
And
thing.
and
you
Social
know,
Security's going up 8.7% because of inflation. And so seniors should be very happy about that too.
right, and I don't know your friend's situation, but let's say he's
My
married.
friend is a financial planner.
Oh, geez. Well, there you go. That's why he's waiting. But let's
you know,
just
he's a financial planner. And I said, "What are you doing?" I know. Well, I know. Well, I'll collect on Monday. He said. All right. Go on, Chris. You were saying.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
saying, you know, if he's married and he doesn't think he's going to last till he's 85, right? But in 5 years, he could get, we'll say, $100,000. We'll keep it simple,
Right.
okay? And if he passes away, that's $100,000 basically guaranteed money for the wife to
Right.
help
Right.
if they don't need the money right now.
Right. And plus, if he didn't need to take as much out of his pension plan, that money's still there because he's got
Exactly.
another source of income. Because the maximum they can tax you on your Social Security, not the tax liability, but the amount that you would pay taxes on would be 85%. Many people will pay 0% if they start collecting. So I said to him, I said, "You planning on having a big party when you're 85? Because I guarantee you're not going to care at 85 if you're coming out ahead of the game." Anyway, let's go back to the phones. We got Doug. Hi, Doug. How can I help you?
Hello, Esther. How
Hi.
are you today?
Good. I'm great.
I have a question on those taxes that you just mentioned on your Social Security.
Uh-huh.
All right, 85%. Currently, I'm taking my Social Security. My wife's taking Social Security. We have a pension. Now, would I have to pay taxes?
Well, how much is the pension that you're getting?
The pension is 48,000.
Yep, your Social Security is going to be partially taxable.
Now, what is the rate on that?
Well, it's going to be at whatever tax rate you are, but you would take your Social Security divided by 2, add it to your pension, and then you subtract that from 32. The excess over 32 is half taxable until it gets to 85% taxable. So remember, let's say that you're getting, between you and your wife, $40,000. If 85% of that would be taxable, like 32,000 of it would be taxable, and let's say you're in the 12% tax bracket, that would mean that you would pay about $4,000 on that.
$4,000 on that.
Right, but that's on that little situation. But for your specific situation, give us a call and we'll run the numbers exactly for you. Because let's say that your pension was $10,000. You might pay 0 on your Social Security. So it all depends on how much you're taking out of your pension and whether the pension is a fixed amount or you're just taking that out to live on, that you decide.
Oh, it's a fixed amount. I'm
Fixed
taking it
amount,
out.
yeah. So I would suggest you have taxes withheld on your Social Security. And again, the increase is going to be 8.7%.
Wow. Okay. So that
Okay.
means
Nothing on the state. It's all tax-free on the state.
Yeah, and it's tax-free on the state.
it'll be tax-free on the state?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Well, thank you
Hey,
very
thanks
much.
for calling. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-8030930. And we got another text?
We do. There's 2 of them. The first one says, I have a quick question. It's off topic. Sorry about that. Does my 72-year-old father have to file? All he gets is Social Security income.
Well, if your dad has an IRA or a pension that he hasn't been withdrawing from, he's got to start a required minimum distribution, and it all depends on how much his requirement is. When that's added to half of his Social Security, he might have to file. So if you want to text us back with how much he has in his pension, we'd be able to figure it out.
But if he
he's
doesn't
got a
have to
pension.
do an RMD,
If he doesn't have to do an RMD, he doesn't have to file.
right now there's the new property. If he owns property this year, there's a property credit that if he pays taxes, then he might qualify. That's a refundable property credit on the state.
On the
So,
state,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
And that form number is a
IT 229.
229.
Okay, all right, and then we got any other phone calls, texts?
There's a text. It says, "Can you get a reverse mortgage if your house is paid off?"
Yes, you can, but I mean, it's especially sweet for people that are paying a house payment, right? And they're living paycheck, well, not paycheck to pay, Social Security payment to Social Security payment, and they want to stay in their house, but because then they pay it off. But yes, if you have no mortgage at all, you can do a reverse mortgage, and you can take out. They give you a checkbook. You can write a check for whatever you need, and that's all tax-free money.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. The next thing I said on my list here is using the standard deduction to withdraw money from your pension plan at a very low rate. People that are living on Social Security that are really waiting to take money as an RMD once they're age 72, they may want to rethink that, right, Tiff and Chris?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Because you could start just like that text person. If he has money in there and he doesn't have to pay taxes, you might want to start withdrawing because he'll be able to withdraw some without
Tax-free.
paying taxes.
Yep.
Tax-free. No movie. Tax-free.
Right.
And that's what kills me is that many times financial advisors only know tax-free, but don't know that the standard deduction is approaching $30,000 on a married couple, and that would be free money.
Free. And
Free.
FREE.
do it
Right,
now.
Free. Right.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the phones.
Okay, we got
You
Jim.
want to do Jim?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Esther, this is a little bit off topic, but
Yeah.
I live on the Ontario Reservoir.
Okay.
And back in the day, I listened to you and Gar, and I got money back because of the federal disaster. My question is, can somebody that didn't file for that, can they, if I refer them to you, can you do
An amended.
another tax?
It's
amended
too late.
filing?
There's a statute of limitations, which is 3 years, and you.
Oh, boy.
They
Okay.
can't open up you, and you can't open up them, unless it was fraud. So you can't do it now.
Okay, that's what I wanted. I've been
All
referring
right.
people
See,
for
always
years, and I
those
didn't
that.
know.
Thank you,
But
Jim,
just think
for
you can watch
referring.
the Bills game tomorrow, and you'll be happy.
Thank
All
you.
right, and then we got
We used
May?
to take a break.
May.
Oh, we got to take a break. All right. Hey, May and Jim, hang on. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side.
The bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the
Hey.
bills are making it happen.
I'll tell you, my brother is a sports crazy person, and I can't help it. I just talk about the Bills all the time, and so my brother. But I don't talk about the Bills in front of my brother, because if they lose, then he kicks dirt on my face, right? The other day we were together, and out of the clear blue, he said, "I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL." Oh, I said, "Tom, thank you."
And he's not a Buffalo. He's not from Buffalo.
He's not from Buffalo.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So we're praying for the Bills. All right, RMD. I know we got calls hanging. If you're somebody who has to do an RMD, and you're somebody that gives money to charity, especially in light of all the the hurricane stuff, and maybe you want to give to charity. If you use your RMD, you can do a direct withdrawal from your RMD IRA, from your IRA, up to $100,000 to go to a charity, and then it's tax-free to you. So it's a wonderful way to kind of beat the tax man. Okay, and we got May. Hey, May, how can we help you?
Hi, I had a couple of questions. What's your thoughts on collecting Social Security at age 62?
Well, it all depends on your other sources of income. Do you have others?
I do, but I was wondering, is
No.
it better to start drawing earlier?
Do
Well,
you
are you
have
still
other
work-
sources of income besides Social
She
Security?
said she does.
She does. What
Yes.
would that be?
Personal business.
All right, so you have a business.
Yes.
So does your business make more than $19,000 bottom line?
You mean my salary? You mean?
Your net profit.
Does
from
your
the
net
business.
profit on your business make more than $19,000?
Yes, it does.
Okay, then you can't collect early because you have to pay back. Well, you can collect, but you'd end up paying back $1 for every $2 over the $19,760. So if you're still working, they're going to limit you collecting early if you have wages over that $19,760 until you're at regular retirement age, which would be 66.
So
Okay,
once you're
so-
at 66, you can make as much as you want.
Right, you can make $1 million at 66, but until then you can't withdraw
So
early.
So I cannot.
Not if you're making over. So you maybe want to give us a jingle. Maybe there's a workaround. Like for instance, maybe this year you want to buy a large piece of equipment, and you'd be able to do a 179 or special bonus depreciation, which would bring you under that $19,000, and then you would be eligible. But that's all something that we could help you with on a radio show. In 2 seconds, I can't help you.
Okay.
So call us, and there's no charge. 632-7886 we would be wonderful to help you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, May. Right? I mean, there's a way. It all depends if she's got a 1120S. Is she Schedule C? Does she, you know what I'm saying? Does she
Right.
have employees? Put money into a pension. Of course, you can put your money into a pension plan. That doesn't help you on the payback. Let's see. We have Steve, right?
Yep.
Hey, Steve. How can we help you, sir?
Hey, Esther, long-time listener,
Thank you.
first-time caller. Question on beneficiary or inherited IRAs and new regs that came in where it has to be depleted within a 10-year period.
Uh-huh.
Is any thoughts on what can be done there, taking out those distributions? I know obviously we have to pay tax on them, but I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on how to maybe help ease the pain a little bit.
Well, are you still working?
I am.
Do you have a 401k at work?
And maxing it out.
You are already maxing it out. Okay.
And your spouse as well?
Yes, she is.
And she's maxed out?
She is.
Oh, well,
Smart.
you're in a,
Was the person who passed away over the age of 59 and a half?
Yes, they were.
So
Yeah.
spread out, the beneficiaries get to exclude $20,000 a year.
Divided among everybody.
right.
Spread out,
How
I
many
said.
beneficiaries were there?
There were 4.
All right,
And it
so
was
you
a-
guys
it was
would
a
all be able to do
sizable,
5,000 a year as a
Exclusion.
subtraction on the state of New York. It's tough. I mean, looking for something to offset that income is what we would be looking at. So another way to shelter that income. So I would suggest you give us a call. We'll look at your tax return and see if there's something else. But just plain old, if you've maxed out your because what Chris was thinking is, well, let's say you're taking $10,000 as your distribution every year as the beneficiary. We'll put an extra $10,000 in your pension plan at work. One offsets the other. That would be perfect. But we
Right.
don't live in a perfect world. But if you give us a jingle, maybe we can figure out another workaround. But off the top of my head, I would say
Do you
that
have a
would be
high
it, wouldn't you?
deductible plan for health insurance at work?
Yes, I do.
So do you put money into your HSA?
HSA?
Do you max that out?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well,
Well,
you're
you
just
do
a
lots
smart
of-
man.
lots of good
and a
moves.
good financial guy. Good
Sounds
for you. Sometimes there's nothing you can do but pay the taxes.
Pay the
you grin
taxes.
and bear it.
Yes.
Because
All
he
right.
listens to
Thank so
you,
much.
Esther.
That's right. Grin and bear it. All right, now we got Jim. Hey, Jim, how can we help you, sir?
Hi, all. How you doing? I'm actually going to not retire, but I'm going to be 66 in November, and I know I have to wait 66 in 3 months or 4 months, whatever it is, to file for Social Security.
Right.
But I do own my own business, and my salary is around $45,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I just wondered if I could take the maximum Social Security when I reach that 66 and 2/3.
Yeah, you're
whatever
going to
it
get
is.
you're going to get your regular Social Security that you qualify for. There's no penalty. Because your income's over the $19,000 some odd dollars. So at 66, you can make whatever you want and get your full Social Security. Now, do you have a pension plan at work?
Yeah, I have 401ks and I have IRAs and
Are you maxed out on
Yeah.
those?
no.
I mean, that might be you got the extra money coming in from Social Security. You might want to max that out because that would be tax deductible, right? And so
Okay.
that would be great.
Yeah.
So if you could put some more money into your 401k plan or IRA or whatever you
Are
got
you
at
the
work.
only employee at your business?
I'm the owner, but I also work there. I manage the place.
Okay,
Right.
I was
so
wondering if you had.
that might I would recommend loading up your pension plan as much as possible because that's it. Once you retire, you got to live a long time on that money. So utilizing this extra money from Social Security and placing that into your pension plan makes it tax deductible. So that's kind of cool.
Well, actually, I retired from a job after 30 years.
So you got a pension
Yeah.
plan there too?
Well, no, I don't actually have a pension. I have a 401k from there, and I have an IRA I've been saving for the last 30 years, too.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you want to put more money away and make it tax deductible, like let's say you're getting $30,000 from Social Security and you're able to put $27,000 into your 401k, for instance, well, that makes effectively that Social Security that's on the left-hand side that's partially taxable because you're sheltering it on the right-hand side. It's like getting it for free. So it's something you might want to look at doing if you don't need the money, but maybe you want to just go on a world cruise. You deserve it.
They're cheap now.
They are.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So if I get $3,000 a month, Social Security, whatever it is it taxed normally like 20% federal?
So it's going to be 85% of it's going to be taxable, okay? and it'll be taxed at whatever tax rate you're at. So if you're in the 30% state and federal, and 25,000 of it's taxable, then you're going to pay. Let me do the math. 30,000.
But it'll be completely tax-free
it'll
on
be
the
about
state.
$9,000 that you'll pay.
So of course,
But
it's
you're
not
only
gonna
on the
take-
federal, not on the state.
Okay, of course, it's not going to take Social Security care.
I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
I think we lost him here.
he's
But
losing.
I would suggest, just as a matter of ease, to take out withholding on your Social Security so that it doesn't blindside you when you're having your taxes prepared.
Yeah, and then once he was 65, he had to sign up for part of Medicare,
Right.
which I'm sure he
Right.
did. There's also a text. It says maybe he's giving this to you, Esther. The Sabres lose to Florida 4-3.
Okay, but then there's one that can you put an inherited IRA
yes.
distribution
Sorry about
directly into a traditional IRA? And unfortunately,
No,
that
you
answer
can't.
is no. It
No.
has to stay in a beneficial IRA.
It's two steps. So if somebody had an inherited IRA and it was like 10,000, for instance, and they didn't have a qualified pension plan or any of those limitations, but they were working, that wouldn't preclude them from making a contribution to their IRA, but that would be two separate transactions, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax. During the week, if it crosses your mind and it has anything to do with taxes, give us a call, because this is the spooky time of year. This is almost Halloween. EG Tax is there to help you. We certainly want to help you. It's the end of the season. We're getting towards the end of the year. A lot of things changed that were beneficial in 2021. And again, if you haven't filed your tax return, Monday's the deadline. That, like for children, the child tax credit, the dependency credit, all those things kind of rolled back, and things in the earned income credit again, disqualified income has rolled back. So you just might want to do a last quarter look at your taxes so you're not blindsided too. Anything you guys want to say for yourself?
I just want to say I'm glad that Jim, unlike your friend at the party, called about that Social Security question. And then if he's a business owner, he could also, if he has a high deductible plan at work, put money into an HSA.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of things. And I'm glad that the Sabres won, and we hope that that's a trend that Buffalo will continue through tomorrow and through the rest of the year. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax. You can go to our website at egtax.com. Thank you for listening. We love you. Thanks a lot for everything.